getting the overspill out of the... Okay, just had a little bit in there I had to get rid of. Now let me tell you something. This has been sitting for days now, and that's some hard stuff. I mean, I'm shocked at how good it's taken. It has taken a while. Let's see if I can find a bolt here. Make sure I'm going to pass. Oop. I'll pass through. It'll be fine. Just have to work on that a little bit more. Probably might not want to take that out too much because I want something in there because it rattles. Remember I told you it rattled. So we're getting ready to put these in and take the other ones out. And I'm going to kind of skip and jump across this. Because the point is, you know, you've already seen it. So there, all done. So let me get these back in and this other stuff. Now remember, GM, I think, puts two different size heads on these things, but I think these are the same. But I think I got enough tools to swing it. All right, let's drill that out just a little bit more because I don't want to. I kind of want it to pass through easy. Okay, so let's just kind of clean that up just a little bit more, put silicone in, because these are going to be sitting for many days while the other ones kind of get firmed up. And we're going to go through a whole new approach of doing this and hopefully not have the little leaks I had there. It looks worse than it is, but still, and it, you know, it needs to be better. That stuff's really, really something. Oh well, 7/8, 13/16, just like the old bolts. And you ain't gonna need to put no Loctite on these. I can tell you that right now. So I got some anti-seize up in there. I doubt you can see it, but you don't need to see it. It's there. See that silver right there? That's this stuff. You don't want to go squeaking around like a 65 T-Bird now, do you? Okay, so let's see what else is next. I'm about ready to set them up. I got my goo ready to put in there to put around the inside of this and take up space. So I think I'm ready to install. I'll show you what I can. I mean, I'm going to be knocking bolts in, okay? You know, so it's important to see that to a certain degree. But let's see here and there, and I think I'll start with the upper one. Let's go get a cool drink first, don't you? And now once I get these in, I'm going to do the shot of here, and then I'm going to take these out. And that one not all bent up. Well, did the hard side first. That's kind of my nature. I like doing it that way for some reason. These go in a very particular way. This box is open on the top, and this isn't. So you have to go up high, get this one in, get your bolt in, and then get this one started once you get your scissors jack to press out on the axle so you can drive that sucker in. It ain't too bad, but if I were you, I would be ready for this. Now I got to get that one in, so I got threads coming through on both sides. I think I'm going to go ahead and put a bolt on that, a nut on it, I should say. Okay, I don't want any mistakes past this point. It's not, this don't go right back in again, so keep that in your pipe there. I got a ways to go there, but you see that little nut right there? Well, actually it's a wheel stud, and I got a cable hooked up to it. See this cable right here? And I've got to come along. Don't laugh. Sometimes you got to do things, right? That's why I didn't take this other side apart, because I was afraid of something like this. So let me tighten up this thing and get to come along, and I got to go about that far, and I hope I can get her in there. I don't know if the old bushings were so bad and it's just so far out of alignment, but I don't know. I got everything as centralized as it could be. My guess is it's just kind of shifted, so that's something to keep in mind. Let me make sure this is good and tight, and I will we'll get them. We'll get something. I don't, it's got to have to go back together again. Nothing you can do. Okay, don't laugh too hard. Alright, let's see where we are over here. It ain't too far. Alright, well I just wanted you to see I got it in there. And it took about 7 or 8 clicks. And I think that was actually helpful. Oh, goodness gracious, it's like working on an old GM car, isn't it? Well, the reason it wasn't going in was because it was cocked. I had to put this jack under it, and I got her through. Wow, what a big task. I wasn't expecting this. All right, let's tighten. I'm not going to show tighten these up. Let's get these out of here. I think I'm about through with that one. Okay, well I got that one. I probably have spent 30 minutes getting this last bolt out of this one, employing a scissors jack to get the pressure off and everything. And then here we go. Why did you fight so hard? I don't know. Okay, well let's go get the acetylene torch going. I don't like trip hazards lying about. Okay. All right, let's go get them. Okay. We're all set. We've already seen this, so shadows are getting long. I'm going to have to go soon. I need to burn that stuff, but I think I'll wait. Maybe get a big windstorm right now and blow it away. But anyway, let's get this torch out of here. Alright, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to let those just sort of sit there, and we'll start again tomorrow, okay? Okay. Sean gave me that. I found it in his truck, and he said I could have it. He said it would protect me in my travels. I've been blowing it out here, man. I've cleaned those arms. I've welded in the supports. I've powder coated them. They're in the oven. And I'm going to show you the trick here in just a minute. And that I hope will keep it from leaking. And so looking forward to that. And we're just going to do that right here. My new work table here. Whew, man, I've had a big day. I hope you guys have. It's about sundown. I did not enjoy digging that stuff out of these tubes, so I sealed both ends. I got my fiberglass resin ready, and I got my Gorilla Tape ready, and we'll have it laid out here in just a second. And then yeah, we're gonna mix this a little strong, a little bit heavy on the accelerator, or the curing agent, because I want this to hurry up and do, because I got things to do up here. Okay. So we're going to, I'll show you in a minute, but the premise of this is to put that in there to stop the leaks of the real expensive stuff that takes forever to get. So this is going to be just in there like a millimeter or two, just to seal it up. And then we're going to put the polyurethane stuff in there. This door's working out. I like that door. And I'll tell you this, I think I mentioned this before, but if you don't have to fill these in, this is a great place to hold screws and whatnot. So you can tell I've been busy today. And so I love these as workbenches. And you can find them at the Goodwill store probably for $1 or $2 in different sizes. This is kind of a narrow one. So maybe I ought to put that up as a prize. I got 2 of them. But if you could buy a bifold door, well, you might get 2 of them. You never can tell. So I've got that in there, and I've pressed on it and pressed on it, and I think that one's, I see now, I'll show you in a second, I see now why these are more prone to leak if you end up doing this exact model. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I stand correct. I just noticed something. Let's take that off. And I don't care if the powder coat comes off with it or not. Oh, see, one side of these has this kind of rim. I kind of noticed it, but I kind of didn't think it mattered. Now I know why. The other one's leaked. The other side is a different kind of design. See, it's like that's the pressed in thicker side. So I must have done one side and one the other. So, oh, gotta pay attention in this world. I get in a hurry. So we want to put tape on this side. I know welding didn't go very well, but it's okay. It's 10 times better than it was. So, aha! I see. I get it. Okay, and I'm gonna have to turn these things. I don't know. I think that's good enough. I don't think I need a spacer if I do it that side. Maybe that's why. Okay, I get it. Okay, good. Always know how to learn. Always know how to do and learn and everything right when you're done. It's always like that. You get real good at it. I got real good at Honda water pumps, and then I quit working on Hondas. You know how it is. Now I'm going to have to move fast when I get this stuff going, so I'm not going to record this, but I got them in there and centralized and pressed down real hard. And so we're going to see what happens here. God, I'm so glad I found that thing. So those look good and centralized, and I'm just cool as a cucumber with this. Center seed of a cucumber with this. All right, let's mix this stuff and go for it. Hopefully it'll cure it in about 5 or 10 minutes, but I don't, always, you can just check by looking at this thing. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. Just as a side note, these are the only kind of pickles to get, but after I finish them, I get a cucumber and chop up and put in there, let them sit for a couple of days, and they're just about as good and everything. Oh heck, I just spilled some pickle juice in my crotch, but I guess one pickle to another, huh? Happens. Okay, it's been less than a minute later, and if you look down in there, you can see I only took up a little bit of room, and I made just a couple of millimeters of the resin, and all I gotta do is wait for that to cure. And I think it's gonna cure pretty doggone quick because I loaded it down with this stuff. So I don't like getting this stuff on me, but I do. I don't think I did. Oh, you stay there. All right, not quite there yet. I'm kind of curious to see how long it's going to take because I loaded it, but it is kind of cold out here too. So these are going to be a little uglier than the other ones, but they'll be just as they'll perform just as well. I think I might need to do a little tuning up here. Good morning. It's 60, about to burn up in here. Okay, well I have that's AM by the way, so it's 4 something. Is that right? Yeah, something like that. And anyway, this has solidified, thank goodness. Took longer than I thought it would, so I just came up here and got something to eat and went to sleep. Then I had to do some other stuff, but we are solid. Look how solid this is. Now we are about to find out if this is going to be leak proof. I know inside the, I want to leave that on there. I think I can pour around that and be okay. Let's just do it like, what the hell's he doing? Because he doesn't keep anything in frame. Let me get that off. But these are solid now. And I think we're going to be good. So let's mix this stuff up. I do want to give a shout out to these guys. Again, and there's plenty in there. So I'm glad of that. Well, and you got some time. I mean, like days. So you got to get it poured and get it level and everything. But let's go in. What's the name of this stuff again? Okay, and I've got my little pouring vessel ready to go. So we're all set. Ooh, I always get nervy right about now. Like that table, I built that table a long time ago for a special purpose. Alright. Wrap that stuff in a bag because it leaks for some reason. God, one portion of a drop on you, and it is a mess. So I got about half of it in this little container. We're going to see what that does. And you can see this is mighty tricky to get a half and half going. I've almost decided to just give up on trying to be good at framing. Especially when you're doing stuff like this, because you end up kind of all concentrating on everything. So try not to use too much of a contaminated stir stick. And I've learned that you have time, so just take the time. Let me get this mixed in. The pot life on this stuff is rather long, so don't worry about that too much, but you do have to use this within a certain amount of time. So, I mean, even unmixed, so they say. We're about to find out if it's going to leak or not. Okay. I'm fairly good at estimating displacement. You might hear the fan running in the background. And I thought it was illegal to play commercials louder than the show. Okay. The fan is running because I painted one of the bedrooms here. Alright. I think we got enough of that footage there. Alright, 3 of them done. And you gotta let them settle. You gotta pour slowly. That's probably way too aggressive. And this stuff is so flippin' hard. I ain't scared about a couple of air bubbles, but I believe that in some cases you ought to be. This pouring apparatus has been a little disappointing because it wants to sort of go down the side, but that's okay. You can adjust that if you want to. As you can tell, you got to take your time. I think the other ones have done pretty good. My guess would be this stuff is probably twice as hard as what was in there, if not more so. So if you get the 80A, and if you're doing this on engine mounts and stuff like that, or suspension mounts, you're going to have a tough ride. So just remember that. Alright, just kind of go lightly. Holly, go lightly. And just let it sort of filter up and down. I haven't seen now by this time. On my first attempt at this, it was already pretty ugly. I mean, I had a couple of leaks there. Let's see what that one looks like. That one's almost running over, so let's leave that one alone. That one looks fine. You know, I've got the stuff. Let's use it up, I guess. And I got some left over, so I'm happy about that. Like I say, I don't really care if it leaks over, because okay, I wasted a little bit there, but it wasn't terrible. I spent 15 minutes already. I set the fan to run, house fan to run 15 minutes. It's already off. Boy, time flies when you're doing scary things, doesn't it? All right. Well, that's gonna be. Oh, it didn't waste too much. Okay. All right. So that's a good test leftover bit there. There's that paint in there. Ugh. Well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right, that's it for that. So you got to wait minimum of 18 hours. It's just about daybreak. It's still dark outside. I got my coffee cuppy here in celebration. Gurney Thomas slurping his coffee. So it's been long enough for this to have solidified. As you can tell, it's staying in there pretty nicely. Don't keep the gloves that you wore, throw them away, because this stuff is pervasive. So it's solid, no leaks. So that little millimeter or two of polyurethane or polyester resin for fiberglass, that seems to be the key. So not going to be able to peel anything off for a while. And I probably won't peel it off. And I tell you the truth, I might try to take some of this off, but then again I might not. I might just drill right through these and mount them. I mean, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any at all. So I don't even see any reason in going too far to peel the duct tape off the other side. Just make it so it'll slip in the receivers in the body and the axle of the car, and move on with life. There's nothing else you need to do. Nobody's going to be crawling under your car and saying anything. So, well, let's see. Today it's Thursday morning. I might be able to put these in Friday or Saturday. I almost had an appointment to fix a trailer, but it got postponed, which is okay with me. I got to put all these outlets in and all this other stuff. I'm going to kind of redo that whole bedroom in there. And that's a really old bed. That's an old brass bed. Lay across my big brass bed. All right. Somebody needs to remake that song. Well, maybe not. We're back down here days later, and it is a blustery, rough day out there. And the background noise will tell you. So I don't got any doors open, but I have to open this one to just get the light. There you go. There you go. So I don't know how long I'm gonna make this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this today, because there's too many little things to do. So let's see how it goes. So we are done here. I couldn't be more happy. I got one more bolt to do, and so we're gonna do her here. It's that one right there. Got to get a wrench on it, so I gotta need 2 hands. But that's gonna be the last bolt for the arms. Still got work to do. Won't get it done tonight. There's the come along action that you got to do to get these things aligned. Gosh, I just never knew that was going to be that hard and terrible. How about some light, huh? Okay. Okay, I got to put this away. I've cleaned up. So this is the final look at it all. And got to unhook that come along. That's right. Can't forget that. Get rid of this jack. Now the other thing I've got, now I'm going to probably pull the wheels off and do something about these springs up here, and I'll tell you why. They just need to be done. They just look terrible, and I think they'll fit in the ultrasonic. But that little bracket right there is hitting the spring on the over, so I'm probably going to have to do something about that. That could, wear out or make a racket or something. But I got the mufflings back up, and so the only thing I got to do tomorrow, and see, sun's going down and it is bitter. And so I got that clamped right there, as you can tell. because I got a weld where I had to make that cut right there. You can see it, but I think I got it lined up pretty good. And so that's going to be it for tonight. Oh, I got to drain the diff. Oh, let's do that. I forgot about that. Let's get that come along off, drain the diff, take pictures, and do stuff. How about that? Well, it worked. Alright, we're at the Axel, and I'm at this plug right here, some mufflings and drive shafties, and these had the original U-joints in them with that nylon, red nylon stuff. So a 3/8 fits this thing, and there was no tape on it. It didn't look like it was leaking. Let's see if anything comes out. Okay, you're gonna be focus-eyeing. Foci. Hog-eye. Who was Hog-eye? That was in Sunset Boulevard. Well, there was tape on it. Well, it don't look like there's a whole lot in there, does it? Let's get the old pinky test. Alright, and we'll see if there's any oil. I think I feel it through the glove even. Yeah, there's a little bit on there. Well, and it don't look bad. If you can see it, there you go. And let's suck what we can out of there and replace it anyway. And there's my little suction device there. And this is an old Robinair pump, and these are easy to make. So make one. Seen it enough times. I watched Wrenching with Kenny. He had his suction device pulling power steering fluid out, I think today or yesterday. So we've all got different versions of this. That's a green Tabasco gallon jug there, and its label still on it. And you just sort of work it out. All right, let's get that out of there and change it, and I'm not going to go much more into that. To let you know. This stuff's thick and it's cold. It's been about 15 minutes, but I've got about 2 quarts out of the thing. And it's pretty gummy. That bottle was empty, and so I think this was the right thing to do. And I just kind of got a little rig going here and pulling that stuff out of there. That's about the best I can do. I'll show you. So it's just looks like the end of a Dr. Fobbs movie, doesn't it? All right, well, it's doing it, and I could probably turn it off and let it siphon, but it's okay. But it's some pretty nasty stuff. Look at that, 2 quarts so far. I didn't look up the capacity. This is a good device to, if you're in a situation where you got to measure what you're taking out, that's a good way to do it. But there was about 5 drops of brake fluid in that thing. So it keeps coming. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. Who knows? I think I'm done for the night, like I said. And I don't think I showed this well, but well, you can't see. Yeah, you can. See, I got to do something with that. I don't know if I can get my welder this far back here. I've got 220 pretty close, and my 220 cable's pretty long. I got another 220 cable. Maybe I can do it. But, you know, I could probably do something else and not even weld it. That might be the thing to do. I really didn't think this was going to be a big deal. But look at that. That thing holds almost a gallon. See it bubbling? I think that's enough of that. Yeah, that thing's been working. I'm going to have to check the oil in that thing too. Good golly. I just didn't imagine it held that much. Alright, well, I guess it does. I got enough to swing it. Yeah, always, if you got one, you keep checking the oil in it. I'm watching cartoons, but I watch old cartoons every Saturday morning. It's one of my habits. This is the shop manual, and you won't believe what I found. I found all kind of rear axle information. I've been sort of inundated by rear axles lately. It's been raining axles, and now when I read this, I know what they mean. It's kind of fun because I always skipped over this section. But look at this. There's a torque spec for those arms I just put in. And it's not real. This book is so random. It's even the Jaguar book is more comprehensive than this, or easier to deal with, and that's saying something, because it ain't easy to deal with. All rear suspension control arms should be tightened to 150 to 175 pound-feet, or foot-pounds, however you want to say it. Shock absorber torque, 50-65 universal bolts, and lubrication. But it was interesting. I'm not going to worry about the torque spec on that. I used an air gun and those Dover bolts, nuts. But down here it says lubrication change is not recommended unless work is being done. I think they were thinking, 1964 stuff, but I think this is time. Now, axles have a air, they're open to atmosphere to let hot air out and cool air back in, so it does get dirty. And I imagine the oil I'm using is leaps and bounds better than this. So there you go. You can tell I haven't talked, can't you? And look at that. Rear capacity is 5 3/4 pints. So that's about what I got out of it. And it just says take it up to the bottom of the filler plug hole right here. So, and it's a T-track, safe T-track, whatever that means. So Axel radio ratio code number and all that other stuff. So we can turn this off now. And so this was kind of interesting to just find this. And this is a different situation from the Dana 45. The whole carrier comes out. It's not like mounted in the axle housing. The whole thing comes out. Very interesting setup. Very old and interesting setup. But we ain't gonna be doing all that. I guarantee you that, unless I have to, drag me in that kicking and screaming. But there's your heel toe drive coast side that you see. Nothing changes, of course. So I found this to be pretty interesting now that I understand more of it. So I am enjoying just kind of flipping through this and being glad I'm not having to do it again. So anyway, 5 3/4 pints. There's accidentally found torque specs on the control arms, because if you go to the rear suspension and it says rear suspension stuff, it don't give you the torque specs. I found those under Axel. I don't know, just like that. It's been a frosty Friday. Look at that, there's what is it? Not frosty enough for you, I guess. I'm surprised to see that this time of the year. But it's been real cold, so this has been sitting out in the sun, make it a little easier to get in there. Yellow jacket, really? Well, we'll be test driving here soon. I don't want to put that anywhere too dirty. Okay, right there's good. So this is our first bottle of this. And so here we go. And in the hole it goes. And this takes 2 hands, so there it goes. That looks a little better than what came out. Okay. Okay, so there is the oil. It took almost 3 whole bottles, and I was warned of that in the book, but it took, so we're talking near $60 worth of differential fluid. And I put a little bit of the old heavy Lucas in there too. And so let's just let that kind of drain back in there. And we are about to lock it down, let it down, and take it for a ride. And I wanted to give a shout out to Mick because he was talking about the Velcro blue stuff. And there's the remainders of doing the oil pan on the old truck back there with that blue Velcro stuff, and I gotta give him credit. I think it works pretty good. So that was just left over from putting the oil pan gasket up. So here we go. Let's tighten this up, let her down, warm her up, and wipe her down and all that other stuff, and we'll see how she does. Then we're probably gonna put her right back up here again, because I'm gonna go after this suspension problem stuff, or suspension concern stuff, I should say. Okay, let's crank her up and go. Alright, she's down and dirty. Let's get everything hooked up, see what happens. Get the wheel chocks out, that'll help. I think she's warmed up enough. Got enough gas to do a little bit anyway. Battery charging, that's good. Okay. Surprised she didn't stall. Well, nothing terrible yet. I'll tell you the truth, just in that little bit of motion, I can tell a difference. That's hard to believe. So if I fix up those springs, let me turn this up, listening to this weird music here. Alright. Yeah, I can tell you right now, things are different. Whoa. She is not rocking and rolling at all. No trail of oil there. Okay, let's get on the road. I can't believe somebody backed into my rocks. Crazy. I can tell you on braking, she used to do the old rock and roll up and back. I think here comes somebody, I'm gonna let him go. And she seems just so much more solid. I am very happy about that. So let's go on the hard road and see what happens. Alright, there goes Mr. Hyundai. Alright, let's pull her out. She's cold. It's very different. It's so much more stable. I don't know if she'll go over railroad tracks like you're floating on some kind of nitrous oxide or something. But she's very, very different. Very better. And just seems to just be more in control of the road here. Because I drive up and down this road a lot. Okay. That's after about 5 or 6 miles, and I can't be more pleased. Guys, you got to do this. If you got an old GM from whatever years they started doing this arm thing, 59, 60, 61, whatever, through the 70's or whatever, get that 80A and do your thing. This is a different vehicle. I would have never known if somebody hadn't crashed that bar. So everything happens for the best, right? Right. So, let's look at the sky for a second while y'all contemplate. Am I driving off on my driving here? Giving me a thumbs up and subscribing. And pretty soon spring will be springing and we'll be seeing stuff in the field. And the clock is running. All right. Always amazes me that clock still runs. So here we are. That's it. My gosh, that's the end of a saga right there. Let's get into the springs. We'll do that in a couple of days. I'm gonna get some perch wedges for my truck, Daphne, the 57 pickup, and change that angle of the pinion to the drive shaft. That just seems like the thing to do. So here we are, we made it, and let's get on here even Steven here now. Alright, we'll talk next time. I got a thing up there. There you go, boom. Alright, look at that, 14, ooh, look at that mixture. I'm so happy with that. Takes a long time to make that happen on an Edelbrock. Okay. Bye-bye.